Mr. Speaker, I will give way to the honourable gentleman in due course. I do, however, find it fascinating that the member for Spindley Bottom should adopt such a chauvinistic stance against this bill, which in my opinion is long overdue. May I put it to the House that equality is sadly lacking in this establishment, so why should we expect anything to change? I bring this private member's bill for two reasons. Firstly, it is wholly right in the 21st century that women have equality in the home as well as in the workplace. One might argue, of course, that if a woman takes a man's name, she forfeits the right to equality by means of adopting a very Victorian stance of becoming her husband's property, as it were. Well, Mr. Speaker, times have changed. Women no longer feel the need to take the husband's name, and indeed very often refuse to obey in the marriage vows, and quite right too. Oh, the honourable gentleman from Spindley Bottom can jeer and scoff all he wishes, for was it not he who voted against equal pay for women in the government organisations, such as the BBC? The second reason this bill is being tabled by myself today is to send a clear message to the country that women have had enough. We've taken our place at the heart of British government, more and more in recent decades, and indeed have had two female prime ministers and countless government ministers of the fairer sex, which is another patronising phrase used often by the honourable gentleman. So my bill seeks to put right the injustice of lower pay for women for doing exactly the same jobs as men. And I put it to the House that women do them better anyway. Oh, I hear more sneering from the opposition benches. Well, Mr. Speaker, the time has come to be radical, to listen to women on their terms, and not to allow establishment to continue to keep them in their place, as it were. And I know I speak from a standpoint of confidence when I say that my honourable colleagues on this side of the House are giving my bill their full support. All that is, except for one. The honourable member for Spindley Bottom. The only man I know who is in bad company when he's on his own. The only man I know in this House to have continually used his influence and voting rights to keep women in their place. A very sad human being indeed. Yes, Mr. Speaker, I withdraw the previous comments, but I say this to the House. Can any of you sit there and honestly condone the continued disproportion of a woman's role in our society? Can any one of you really say that I or any of my female colleagues are worthy of any less pay or praise than all the men in this place? After all, did we not all come into politics to improve things, and not to take ourselves back to the days of bias against women? It seems to me, Mr. Speaker, that I am best placed to speak from a great deal of personal experience. After all, I have struggled with a very anti-feminist thinking husband for my entire married life. But that's what I got for marrying the honourable member for Spindley Bottom.
I saw my mum before. Yeah, I did. Oh, it was so lovely to see her smiling face. It always cheers me up. She always knew how to do that, you know. She wore lovely floral print dresses when I was a child because she knew flowers made me smile, and she's never stopped wearing them. She doesn't come to see me often enough these days, though, and she rarely stays long. But I'll take what I can get. I love me mum. I really love my mum. I don't like being alone. Do you? My own company bores me. It bored every friend I've ever had, and now there is no one. Just me. Just me with me thoughts and all my dreams gone. I shouldn't complain, I guess, because I have had good times. I mean, some people don't even have that to thank heaven for now, do they? But I did. Life seems to flash and then fade quickly, you know, like a beautiful thunderstorm on a warm, still night, full of awe and wonder, and then gone as quickly as it came, leaving nothing but silence and, well, nothing, I suppose. But I still see me mum. It's bitterly cold in this home of mine, especially this time of year. The gloves don't keep my fingers from freezing, I can tell you. I used to live just down the road from there. Lovely it was. all warm and snuggly. And no rain. No rain? I hate the rain. It's seen off many of us, I can tell you. It soaks right through the crumpled newspaper I keep under me clothes for warmth. Not much of an home, is it? I mean, it's a dirty corner under an embankment, but it's all I've got. Drier than some places I've lived. Oh, but I did love me last home. That was a shop doorway and a half, I tell you. And it was so busy that people got to know me. They'd pass by and give me drinks and food. But I don't hardly see anyone here. The police didn't have to go and move me on. I wasn't hurting anyone. We've all got a right to some respect. Don't you think? When I was little, I had a rabbit. And if I was especially good and Dad wasn't around, my mum used to let me take my rabbit to bed with me and he'd feel all warm against my skin. I wish he was here now. I wish anyone was here now. I'd kill for some company, I would. It's like I'm invisible and someone else's problem. But it wasn't always like this. I never had much, but I had my self-respect, and they didn't ought to have taken that from me. I had 2 husbands once upon a time. The first one died and left me with debts that I couldn't pay, and the second one, well, he paid the debts and then regularly battered me for the privilege. What? What was that? His name? Oh no, love. I don't care to tell you his name. I always promised myself that I would die with that bastard's name on me tongue, and I will and all. I did what any sensible woman would do, and I left and I went back to me mum. Me lovely mum who never ever let me down. They said the house was too big. The council. They said the house was too big for one person and they wouldn't let me have it. When Mum died, I mean. God, it's cold tonight. Do you feel that chill? No. They said that under council regulations they had to take the tenancy back, and here I am. And here I've been for the past 9 years. Come rain or shine, you'll find old Sylvia here and... Look! Can you see? It's me, Mum! Mum! I gotta go, I'm sorry. I think she's finally taken me with her. I'm coming, Mum!